If you're watching this video, then you or someone you love must be struggling with psoriasis. I suffered with it for 3 years until I was able to heal myself naturally, and my skin has been clear for almost 7 years now. But I know firsthand how miserable it can be. So I wanted to make this video to let you know what happened and how I healed, in the hope that it can help you too. So about 10 years ago in 2015, the palms of my hands started itching all the time. And I was joking about it with a friend of mine saying, oh, I must be coming into some money because my palms are itching. That's an old wives' tale if you haven't heard it. So we laughed it off, not knowing that within a couple of months, my hands would look like this. I've never had a skin condition like this, and I thought that I must be allergic to some hand soap that I was using. So I switched the soaps up and that didn't help. Then I thought it must be hand cream, so I tried new hand cream. That didn't help. I thought that maybe the years of being a hairdresser had caused me to become really allergic to any type of chemicals. So I just was at my wit's end. Nothing was working. And my hands kept getting worse and worse. And so I heard that coconut oil was an antimicrobial. And I thought, okay, I can put this on my hands at night. And I slept with gloves on my hands. And it did help a little bit, but it didn't make the condition go away. It just kept getting worse. And I suffered with it for about 1.5 years. And I kept thinking, surely there's got to be a way I can get rid of this. And I'm not like the type of person to go to the doctor all that often. So what happened was I got jury duty. Oh, and I should probably tell you that in the years leading up to me having this awful problem with my hands, I did go through a lot of stress. I had 3 of my immediate family members die. One was my oldest brother, and it was very unexpected. I had my house burglarized. I had a breakup of a long-term relationship. Well, you get the picture. It was a lot of stress and grief that I was going through. But anyway, what happened was I got called for jury duty as if I wasn't under enough stress. And I showed up to jury duty, and I had done jury duty before. I'd served on a jury for 2 weeks, so I knew what the process was like. And I thought I would be okay, but my hands were really bothering me that day. So I went, and the longer I was waiting to be interviewed and, before the judge and meet the attorneys and all that, my hands were really in bad shape that day. And I was really, really miserable. And if you've had psoriasis, you know how it can be like a combination of a miserable itch and a burning sensation, and they're red and inflamed. And well, you know if you have it. And so I was like, I got to get out of here. I need to see a doctor. This is just the worst it's ever been. So I went to the court clerk, and I showed her my hands, and I said, I'm having a problem with my hands, and I think I need to go see a doctor today. And she immediately just signed me out. She said, absolutely, just take this note to the doctor, and if you need to be dismissed for court, have him write a note to the court. So I went to the doctor, and it was a dermatologist that I'd known for most of my life. And he saw me, and he's like, how long have you been struggling with this? And I said, well, about 1.5 years. And he was like, what? He goes, I can't believe that you could have put up with it for so long. And I said, well, I kept thinking it would get better, or that if I changed the hand soap or something, I even tried changing my shampoo. I tried eating different things. And he said, no, dear, this is a problem that is uncurable, and you're going to have to learn to live with it and manage it with medication. And so he gave me a prescription for, the steroid hand cream. So I went to Costco. I went to pick up the hand cream, and the pharmacist, when she gave it to me, she said, I need to let you know that this really is not a cure, and you can't use it too much, she said, because it'll thin the skin on your hands, and then you'll have a different problem. So sure enough, that's what happened. Was actually it aggravated the psoriasis. It was so awful that I had to stop using it. I just couldn't use it. So I began to look for solutions for this. And I listened to a lot of content on YouTube, and I heard someone say that when you have a problem with your skin, that it usually begins in your gut. And I thought, well, isn't that interesting? Because I was having a lot of problems with my digestion. I was having bloating. I was having like a right-sided pain in my abdomen. And, you know, again, I've always been a really healthy person. I never get sick. And I just thought, you know, I'm just under stress and my stomach is upset and all of that. Well, I read the book Wheat Belly by Dr. Davis, I believe his name is. Dr. Davis mentions in his book, you know, of course, about how gluten and wheat has changed over the years, the way it's grown, and a lot of things about it are different than the wheat that our ancestors ate like 50 years ago. So I had my doctor send me to get a blood test for celiac disease, and it came back negative, but I did realize I had all the symptoms of being gluten intolerant or sensitive. So I was like, well, I don't like bread really that much anyway. And my whole life I had eaten, though, a lot of noodles and lots of pastries. So I was getting a lot of gluten in my diet. So I just thought, okay, let me just give it up. And it did get much better. The longer I stayed away from it, I noticed my hands started clearing up. And I also had to let go of someone that I really cared about. I had been in a long-term relationship, but I never knew whether we were coming or going, and it caused me a lot of stress too, on top of the other stress I was in. Not to mention that I was also going through menopause at the time. So I started taking yoga classes and meditating more, taking more walks in nature. My hands, you know, when I changed my diet, they just got better, and it did take a while. I mean, probably a number of months, somewhere between 3 months and 6 or 8 months. But finally, the condition kept getting much better until my hands were clear again. And they will only flare up just a little bit, just the tiniest little bit, like on one finger, if I start to have gluten again. Like every once in a while, I think, okay, maybe I can eat it. Maybe I'm healed now. And I can eat it for a while, but then it eventually starts to come back. So it's a small price to pay. I just buy gluten-free things now. It's not really hard to live that way. In this day and age, there's a lot of great gluten-free products out there. So I hope this has helped you in some small way, maybe gives you like an idea of what you might be able to do for yourself for some relief. And if you like this video, please comment down below. Let me know what your experiences have been. And maybe it'll help if it gets the word out to some other people that might need some hope or encouragement, because I know it's really, really difficult to live with, especially when you're being told by doctors that there's no cure for it. But I do want to say, listen to what your doctor says. I'm not a doctor, so this is not meant to be like some sort of treatment, but I just wanted to share my experience with you. And I really do wish you a lot of relief, and I hope you feel better soon. Take care.